Hello, all. Um, I hope you've been having a nice weekend so far. I would like to continue with the no contact rule. This is going to be part three, and it's going to focus on what to do if no contact breaks and what to do after you've finished your no contact period, whether it's been 30 days or 3 months, or well, the least was 30 days, or after you decide that you would like clarity or you just want to move on with your life. The truth is, about 80% of people who um, attempt the no contact, they fail at it. Either they break it themselves, or if their partner reaches out, they jump back prematurely. Um, these are some ways that you might fail at your attempt to keep a no contact for any period that we decided, least of which is a month. How do you fail at it? You might fall into the trap and feel jealous or feel curious. After usually about a week, 10 days of not talking to your person or not hearing from them, or hearing bits and pieces about their life, like but not completely, you might start getting jealous of people they hang out with, the kind of things they're focusing on. If you know for a fact that they have moved on with someone else, if you know for a fact that they started dating, or if they actually cheated on you with someone else, and that was the reason for your breakup, you might start getting curious or jealous of their new life, and this might trigger you into contacting them. So that would be cheating on your no contact process by jumping into contact because you failed to resist the urge, and dealing with the healing process that I talked about in the previous videos, audios. Um, if you go through all those steps of healing, this should not happen. But with the statistics showing that 80% of people failing at this, it just shows how those feelings of desperation and jealousy and curiosity are strong. And it only takes determination to pass this 10, 20 days of the first, like the initial letting go. The other reason is that you might start missing them. You start feeling the void of their presence in your life. If they were your husband, you must have lived with them in a maybe a long-term relationship, and part of your attachment to them is just being used to their presence. Or maybe they were upbeat, and they brought a good vibe at some point into your life, and without them you can't find any other source to bring that higher vibration into your life, because again you're not practicing all those other steps that I talked about. And or just, you sometimes, it's human nature. It's I think it's a distorted mentality to miss drama, but it could also be a reason for missing someone. You could miss their drama, you could miss their stories, you could miss all the volatile energy around them, and you might feel that your life is very it's a flat line, boring life with nothing really happening in it, basically because you're not making anything happen in your life right now. But you could feel it as if their absence is the reason for this lack of contentment. So starting to miss them, and you can't resist the urge again to reach out, to find out what they're doing, to find out who they're with, who to find out if they want to get back together again. And all this reaching out and reaching out, and I talked about this feeling desperate to reach out, and how damaging it could be in bringing down your chances of ever being able to get back with them. um, it's a lack of confidence, it's a lack of self-worth that would push you towards someone who potentially left you, or someone that you decided to leave because they were not good for you, or because of whatever disagreement that came up, or for whatever reason for your breakup, you're not together anymore. There was a reason for it. And the fact that you're reaching out and they're not, it just shows desperation. And desperation is not a healthy state to be in when you want to build a healthy foundation for your future. Um, the other reason to fail at this is actually a more interesting reason. Is you could have moved on for the first 10-20 days. You could have focused on yourself. You could have built another source of pleasure for your daily routines. Maybe you picked up a hobby. Maybe you're focusing on your career. Maybe you're putting a new business together. You shifted your focus basically, and you're succeeding at healthily moving on. And guess what happens then? Your person starts getting curious about you. Your person starts missing your presence. Your person might hear about you, and maybe actually they even get curious why you haven't reached out so far. Especially if you were a desperate type, if you were a low value person before, they start getting curious. They start wondering what happened to her or him. What happened to my person? How is he doing? How is she doing? Why haven't they reached out? Why am I not important to them anymore? So they start asking these questions, or they start missing you. And especially if they see you happy, or if they see you fully silent and absent, they will reach out. And if they reach out before you, before the end of the period that you promised yourself, and you break your promise and jump back into a contact with them prematurely, you pretty much destroy all chances of ever getting them back permanently. The reason for that I explain further, but this 30 days of no contact is a promise that you make to yourself. It's like every other promise that you make to yourself in your life, or to other people that are important to you. The most important part about this is keeping the promise, no matter what. Even if your person contacts you during these first 30 days, there are ways to go about it in order to stay faithful to yourself and your promises, and what you decided that you needed to do for yourself, and still have the chance to get back with them and talk and sort things out. The radio silence that we talked about in the other two parts of this no contact methods, it means no response at all, no reaching out at all, no calling, no texting, no reaching out, no spying, no stalking, no going to their friends for information, no researching, no googling, nothing. It's basically clearing your mind and your energy of your person, and just imagining that they don't exist. This is, you can also think of this as quitting an addiction. It takes a lot of determination, and um, if you succeed through it, it will make you feel better about yourself, and it will make your life healthier, whether you get your person back or whether you don't, because this thing doesn't promise um, a long-term relationship. There is so much more that needs to happen for you to build a long-term relationship. This promises you a chance of sitting back at a table and talking things again, if your person is interested. If your person is not interested in you anymore, if they have moved on, then you can't do anything about it. But this no contact will help you become a stronger person, and we already talked about that in part 2 of these audios. However, you have to keep in mind that the more times that you break, the more the number of times that you fail at keeping your no contact period intact, the lower your chances become at making it work or at getting your person back. Um, it also, anytime that you break your no contact, you have to go back to day one. Because if you just become a source of energy and a source of attention for your person, and every 10-15 days they contact you and you answer them, and then they ghost you again, they go back for another 5 days, they contact you, you answer, and likely if you contact them they wouldn't answer, so they would still ghost you and go back for another month, you become a slave to their traps. You fall into their traps, and this is no longer your no contact. This is no longer your court. The ball is not in your court anymore if you give your power away. The no contact period is a way for the person who implements it is to get your personal power back for yourself. And I talked about this in part one, I believe, that your focus should be on you and not on your getting your person back in order for this to work. And I know it's a kind of um how would you put it, it's called how to get your person back, but it's really how to get your person back through working on you, not manipulating them by not contacting them. So if you haven't listened to my other two parts, please do so, as they explain more what this is about and what kind of things you can do in order to practice it, and what's the purpose of it. So if you break it, you have to go back to day one. It doesn't matter if you were on the third day, it doesn't matter if you were on the 29th day. You still have to go back to day one and you practice it again. Go no contact, go silent. But the thing is, the chances of it to work is a lot less, especially if your person reached out and you failed to keep your silence. Basically, you have to throw a deaf ear towards your person during these 30 periods. This is your time. It's for you. And you have to value yourself and respect yourself enough to allow a month of your life and dedicate it to yourself and your own self growth, and not allow anybody else to come into your environment and take it away from you. Um, so what happens after the no contact period is over? There are multiple things that can happen. Um, by the time that your no contact is reaching to its period that you decided for, it could be that your person reaches out towards the fourth week, or towards the end, or maybe after the first month. They get curious and they reach out. If your person reaches out, how would you deal with it? Only respond to messages and calls and texts that are constructive, basically. And I personally don't recommend answering phone calls, because you have no idea what your person is going to talk to you about. You don't know if it's just a hi, how are you? I just wanted to check out on you. I just wanted to see how you're doing, and bye. Or hi, I left my such and such in your basement and I'm just going to come pick it up. And imagine how hurtful that would be if someone reaches out after a month to just come and pick up their stuff. Um, or hi, I just wanted to see, to get the address for that restaurant that we used to go because I'm taking my friends there. Just wanted to know. And whether they're genuine with it, or whether it's just for them to hear your voice, or for them to reach out and see how you're doing, or for them to, I don't know, like um, just test the waters and see if you have anything to offer to them, it's not a healthy way of going about it, and it will hurt you. So if I were you, and in my position also, calls are out of question. I don't answer calls. If somebody really needs to talk to me, they will leave a voicemail. If somebody really badly needs to talk to me, they send a text message or an email. Um, Especially somebody that I haven't been speaking to for a month. or 3 months or however long it's been, you really don't have anything that urgent to discuss unless you have children together. Of course, that's a different scenario. And in the beginning, I told you that this is about radio silence. It's about people that don't have children or pet together. This is about people that can totally, fully detach from each other. Um, so if your person reaches out by text, so calls are out of question. We already decided that. If your person leaves a voicemail or sends you a text message, or a Facebook message, whatever, a message in writing, just saying, hey, how are you? Ignore it. By all means, ignore messages like that. Those are just to fish. They are just to see how you're doing. It's just to test the waters. The person is not confident enough or not determined enough to do anything productive, anything constructive. They just want to say hi. And that's really it. And I know for a lot of women, it's really hard to believe that somebody they loved or they had a connection with, after a whole month, they're just saying hey, just to say hey. But it is true. It is true. Some people just say hey to just say hey, and throw the ball into your court. So you take ownership. So you take um, the role and the reins, and you rule, and you take responsibility, and you put all the energy back in, and you do all the work again. So if somebody abandoned you, if somebody wasn't giving into your relationship, if somebody didn't want to listen to you when they had a chance before the breakup, it's very likely that they don't have much to say, and all they have to say is hey, how are you? I just wanted to make sure if you're okay. Well, even if you say hi, I'm fine, thanks, that could be the end of it. And you have to accept that that could be the end of it. So if you answer to text like that, and you answer it short and sweet, and just that, leave it at that. Do not follow up. Do not second text. Do not go out and chase after your person to see what did you really want to say. What is there anything else that you wanted to say, or start falling into that begging mode again, or chasing mode again. So that's why the best way to go about this is to ignore it, because by answering these messages you open door to a lot of mess. It's like opening a can of worms. It might open the cycle again, the cycle of feeling trapped into ghosting and going back, and ghosting and going back, and all the unhealthy energy that you try to move on from and work on yourself and heal might resurface. You can only answer to a text from your ex if they apologize, and if they tell you that they want to uh, talk about things, or if they want to see if you have time to go through what happened. I know it very rarely happens that that would be the first text message from someone that broke up with you. It almost never happens that it would be the first message that they send, unless they are desperately sorry, and that's not even a healthy energy. Like if somebody after like 2 or 3 days they message you and they want to talk things through, that's just a show of desperation and agitation and irritation, and you have to leave that, because it's not coming from a safe confident spot. It's coming from a crushed ego. It's coming from fear, and it's not healthy. But if towards the end, if after a month where you had time to cool off, if you had time to heal a little bit, if you had time to shift your focus, and they had time to feel your absence and miss you and go through things and reflect, they come back and say they are sorry if it was their fault, if they left you. They have to apologize, and they need to mention that they want to talk about what happened, or they want to see you and see if they can go through what happened between the two of you. And like I said, this will not be the first message, very likely. But if you ignore all the other messages, if you ignore all their hays and highs and how are yous and everything, if they really want to get to you, if they really want to see you, if they are really truly sorry and want to work things out, they will leave you this message. They will let you know their intent. They will let you know that they're coming from a healthy spot, and they won't leave you um, in any illusions or doubts on trying to figure them out. If a person really wants to build with you, they come with healthy energy. They come with upbeat energy, with honesty. If somebody's beating around the bush, if they're just being secretive, if they just throw you breadcrumbs and they just want to get your energy and attention because now they miss it, because um, if especially if they were a narcissist, their supplies are going dry, and now they're back at you to get from you and not give anything back, then easily they will try to just tiptoe into the water and give you a little bit in order to get a lot from you. And those 80% of people that fail at the no contact fall for these traps. They fall for a little text of saying, "Hi, how are you?" or "Hi, I miss you," or "Oh, my life hasn't been the same without you," and all that. The kind of sugar talking, they fall for it in the hopes of a more constructive, um, positive, uplifting communication coming out of that. But most of the time, it doesn't. Um, if a person really needs to go through the covered grounds with you again, if they want to fix things with you again, they make their intent known. So do not let a little text or a little emoji or a little song or a little something that reminds you of a good memory or a little romantic gesture fool you into thinking your person wants you back. In a lot of times, your person is just missing you. And I know that for women, it's like somebody missing you could mean somebody wants you back, but that is not the case. Somebody missing you just simply means somebody's missing you. They could very well be with another person and they still miss you. They could very well have another kind of life, another goal, another intention, and they still want to know how you're doing. These kind of behaviors are real. Do not judge your person on the way that you think about relationships. And actually, if you think that somebody just says hi and their hi means they're still in love with you, you have to reconsider your values and your boundaries and your ideals. Because somebody that doesn't put effort and breadcrumbs even after a month-long breakup and silence, that person is not even worth your time. So you have to, when your person reaches out to you, how they reach out to you is very important. And the feeling, the intuition, your inner voice will tell you if this person is coming from the right spot or not. And especially if you have worked on yourself, you don't feel as attached as before to them. So you can stand aside, you can keep your distance, stay outside of the circle, and look at it from above and tell yourself, do I even want this person back? That is the first most important question that you ask yourself at the end of the no contact period. Do I even want the person back? So if your person reaches out, if they breadcrumb you, ignore it until they up their game and they come with a legit offer, which is like seeing you to talk things through or an apology. If they don't go through that, just keep living your life, just keep doing you. And if they never up their game, then they're not even worth your time, right? And by now, you probably have other chances, other options. And now you're a high value person. You attract higher value people. And maybe that's even the reason your person is reaching out, because they're afraid you might have other options. There are also cases that your person has not reached out at the end of the time period that you assigned for yourself. So let's say you went through your no contact for a month and your person hasn't reached out. What do you do now? You can do two things. You can either keep going with your no contact, but of course, you have to shift your focus to your life and to your goals and to your improvements and to your life developments and personal developments, and just keep the no contact. Or if the no contact was really feeling like a task to you, or if it was really like a project and it's hard to handle it, or if you're really curious, or if you really need a closure, you can reach out to your person after your month long or 2 months long period, whatever you decided. You can send them a message and you test the waters. If your person wants to talk things through, or if they agree to see you, or if they basically your message should be along the lines of seeing them, or just wanting to if they're interested to talk about what happened between you. Odds are, if somebody didn't reach out by now, they wouldn't be interested yet, or just not at all, or that they were shy and they didn't know, or they were afraid that you would reject them and they would take your offer. So depending on how your person reacts towards you, then you can go from there. If your person doesn't welcome your offer and you're reaching out, then you have to drop it right there. You have to drop it and you have to focus on your life and you have to go for your best. If your person takes your offer and wants to see you and wants to um, talk things through, then you have to keep your boundaries, and there are questions that you need to ask. There are items that you need to talk about, which I will create another post for that. What sort of things, what sort of questions to ask when you're getting back with an ex, or if your ex wants to return, and what sort of points need to be covered before you get back into a relationship with someone that broke up with you. So that is um, pretty much it for this post. I know I promised to post this a lot earlier, but with all this quarantine troubles that are going around, and how we work from home now, and my full-time job and everything else that was happening in my personal life, I had to pull away from YouTube for a little bit. But I will try to post more frequently, and if you would like to talk about a specific topic, you can leave that in the comments. Um, I try to leave a link for the two other parts in the description box. If you haven't subscribed to my channel and you like my content, please do so, and hit the bell button for notifications for when I upload a post next. I still don't have a camera, a proper camera to post videos. Um, I have my cell phone, but it doesn't record long videos on it with a good quality. So I will figure something out for that. But for now, I will try to post some common questions about relationships, and the short answers to them, some shorter videos, until the next large topic that I would want to discuss. Don't forget to check out my Instagram. I do post there as often as I can, and once I have the decent number of followers, I will go live and post some live videos there. I don't have any problem doing lives on Instagram. It just seems more difficult on YouTube. So have a nice weekend. Have a nice Sunday. Stay grounded. Take care of yourself. And stay in a high vibe energy. See you all next time.